28 points a game in the tournament.
Going with Ann Myers. Happy to have you with us for the second half of our women's college basketball doubleheader. Connecticut leads 15-14, and UConn has just called a 20-second timeout as Rita Williams was trapped. It has been a back and forth. First 9 minutes, Tennessee jumped off to a 4-0 lead for Coach Pat Head Summit, but since then the two teams have taken turns exchanging the lead. And as we look at this matchup, a rematch of last year's national championship game won by Connecticut as it completed its undefeated national championship.
The Connecticut coach is coming off a national championship himself, and they are not intimidated coming into this game.
UConn comes in at 11-2 this season, ranked number 2 in the country, but they're likely to drop in the polls after a loss earlier this week at Syracuse, while Tennessee is 11-1. Their only loss at Stanford. They're number 4 in the nation. And this is Michelle Marciniak, the outstanding point guard for Tennessee. Abby Conklin, a three-point shooter. And the rebound to Jamel Elliott.
It's been a very up-tempo game, and both teams like it that way.
Carla Berube, pressured along the sideline by the brilliant freshman Shamika Holtzclaw.
Tennessee's really doing a good job defensively. They're putting so much pressure on the ball that the players...
UConn being led by the senior point guard, All-American Jen Rosati. Tennessee's scoring being led by Tiffany Johnson with 6 points. And it's the Lady Vols who are in possession of the ball.
Tennessee doing a pretty good job defensively against Connecticut right now. Connecticut, their defense is called a 5 blue. It's a man-to-man, but they like to sag into a zone look.
Just off the bench, the freshman Kelly Jolly missed her first shot. A 3-point try. Rita Williams to Carol Walters, another first-team preseason All-American at 6'7", and she was stripped by Johnson. Marciniak, the pull-up, and it rattled out to Rita Williams, who was able to snare the rebound. Let's read at 5'7". That might be a little generous.
I was going to say a little intimidation right there, too, as far as Marciniak not taking it in against Walters.
And Rita, at 5'7" or under, went right to the bucket and scored. She's a junior college transfer in her first year at UConn. Spent last year at Mitchell Junior College in New London, Connecticut.
Connecticut coach Gino Ariema said that Rita Williams has really been an asset to this team. A plus, but she just has to be a little bit more consistent.
Abby Conklin the miss, and then Walters corralled the rebound and was fouled by Conklin.
Well, Williams is a great penetrator. She was a junior college All-American, and she adds that help as far as Jen Rosati in the backcourt with Pam Weber graduating.
Outstanding crop of newcomers brought in by Gino Ariema off the national championship season, but of course he is trying to replace the National Player of the Year, Rebecca Lobo, who has graduated. UConn's backcourt has outscored its Tennessee counterparts by 9. Jamel Elliott called for a moving screen, her first foul. Sally Bell, John Morningstar, Art Bommingen blowing the whistles today. You got to look at Tennessee coach Pat Head Summit.
Well, that's a concern for both coaches because the benches are not that deep and have not been...
Basketball record. You get at least your fair share of the calls, and Gino's trying to make sure that he gets his fair share today. The steal by Elliott. Sales had her shot blocked by Tiffany Johnson. And then Sales bounced it off her foot and out of bounds.
And Tiffany Johnson all over. And here's where Tennessee can be so exciting as far as getting their fans involved. Tiffany Johnson, TJ, they called her Baby T last year, was pumped up on that. And after the ball goes off of Sales, she's just right in her.
Well, last year she was a freshman, so they called her Baby T. But now that she's a sophomore, she's TJ.
She's
Tiffany
matured,
Johnson.
huh?
Indeed she has. And matured to a new nickname. Connecticut leads by 3. Since you've joined us, the game has gotten a bit sloppy after a solid start by both sides. And out of the pack comes Lori Milligan, a reserve guard. Now Latina Davis. Tennessee has won for its last 8 from the field.
Great drive by Jen Rosati. The ball is just not falling for her. She shot over 50% last year and is shooting 39%.
And the star of the game to this point has been Tiffany Johnson. She has 8 points for Tennessee, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina.
She was all SEC rookie team last year.
And with 8 minutes to go in the first half, it is Connecticut by 1. These two teams actually met twice last season. And then in the regular season at Shores, Connecticut, UConn won to take the #1 ranking away from Tennessee. Walters well short with a hook. And they met again in the national championship. And UConn won by 6 to win its first ever national title.
Tennessee's defense is really intense, Sean, and it looks like Connecticut is tired.
Ending theirs at 61. Rebounding a big concern for Pat Summitt. When we talked with her yesterday, she said the key in the second half of last year's championship game was UConn out-rebounded her team by 10, 25 to 15. UConn has a decided edge in that category through the first 12.5 minutes this afternoon.
Well, both coaches felt that that would be a big key as far as the rebounds. And turnovers have not been kind to Connecticut in this first half. A lot of it has to do with the pressure defense of Tennessee. And a way to kind of offset that, Sean, would be for Connecticut, obviously, to calm down. Jen Rosati's got to take control, set more picks, and look for back doors.
That was the 10th turnover committed by the Huskies. The ball went out of bounds off the leg of Carla Berube. Then Latina Davis had trouble on the dribble, but Lori Milligan ripped it away from the pile. Milligan's a sophomore backup guard from Tigard, Oregon. And this is Shamiqua Holdsclaw. Shot clock running out. Davis didn't get the bounce. But Holdsclaw, the freshman, who's leading Tennessee in scoring and rebounding through the first 12 games, she has 6, and Tennessee is back on top.
We'll talk about a dynamite freshman. She comes in and scores a double-double in their first game against Virginia and has 7 double-doubles so far.
Holdsclaw has been in double figures in scoring in all 12 games. She's off to the best start of any player in Tennessee history. And Nikisha Sales quiets the crowd with the runner.
They were able to go backdoor on that. They need to be patient on this offense. When you have such tough pressure defense, you cannot get rattled.
These are men's scores that we're looking at now. And Holdsclaw got her own rebound. Shamiqua Holdsclaw, the National High School Player of the Year last year at Christ the King. She's from Astoria, New York, in New York City. And it's Tennessee again by 1.
Well, Tennessee lost 3 key players from last year's team All-American, Nikki McCray, Dana Johnson inside, and Vonda Ward at 6'6", but Holdsclaw really makes a difference. And
Rosati drove to the bucket and put UConn back up. Jen Rosati has 9 of the 21 Husky points. Conklin short with it. Davis able to run it down.
You know, this Lady Vol team is a team that's a lot different that they have had in the past. It's usually been they've had a lot of post players. They like to pound it down low, but now they run more of a high-low and there's a lot of perimeter shooting.
Conklin committed the foul after she missed the shot.
Well, Mickey DeMoss, the assistant for Tennessee, is the one that really recruited Shamiqua Holdsclaw, and raised by her grandmother. She just is a nice kid. She is a
went 106-4. They won 4 state titles, 1 national title. No wonder just about every major program in the country, including Connecticut, recruited her. Connecticut made it down to the list of the final 5, but she chose Tennessee because she particularly liked Coach Summitt and liked the atmosphere, great fan support here in Knoxville. 3 seconds to call against Walters.
Well, Pat Summitt's been harping the officials for 3 seconds on Carol Walters, and Tennessee has had a tough time getting Walters the ball.
UConn leads by 1. 4:50 left in the first half. And that's the 11th turnover committed by the Huskies.
Connecticut averages 20 a game.
Ellie Jolly missed a 3, but it's Tiffany Johnson again. Johnson, averaging only 7 points per game coming in, has 10 already. And back and forth we go with the Lady Vols up by 1. Whistled on the last play, called against Tiffany Johnson and Carol Walters. And the officials conferring at the...
A lot of contact inside the lane.
And in the alternating possession, the arrow gave the ball to Tennessee, but Walters wound up with the ball as Tennessee turned it over. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. It's Tennessee by 1. Great pass. Rosati into Walters. That's one preseason first-team All-American to another.
What a smart pick and roll right there. Tiffany Johnson got caught up on Jen Rosati way up high, and Rosati kept her dribble and was able to make that pass to Walters.
Michelle Marciniak, senior. She's already graduated from the University of Tennessee. Did so in December. She'll take graduate classes this semester, and she buries it from just inside the arc.
Marciniak likes to come out maybe at least a half hour, not 45 minutes before a game, and she really works hard, goes through a lot of drills as far as shooting. She says, I got to get rid of some of that energy because she goes 100 miles an hour.
Graduated in December with a degree in psychology and with a 3.0 grade point average. She's going to take graduate courses in sports management. Right into Walters. And the hook over Johnson goes for Walters, and Kara has 6. And Connecticut has the lead again at 25-24. Conklin, bad pass, cross court and picked off. Rita Williams all alone.
Both teams are very quick and like to play that passing lane.
And a 20-second timeout called by Pat Summitt.
Just not a smart pass by Conklin, and Rita Williams at 5'7" is not really seen, and she steps right in there, snatches that ball. Nice layup for her. This is where
center in Minneapolis also won by UConn. Conklin. That's a three-pointer. She buried 5 three-pointers here on Tuesday night, tying the school record, and had a career-high 23 points in that record-setting win over Florida. Williams got out of the trap. And then Elliott couldn't handle the pass in the middle of the lane. Tie game, Tennessee looking for the lead with 2 left in the half. Ashton Thompson, too strong off the glass. Conklin was fouled and will shoot 2.
good.
Conklin, junior from Charlestown, Indiana, made the first. She's the all-time leading female high school scorer in Indiana girls history. 2,616 points. 1 out of 2 on that trip. And it's Tennessee by 1. UConn with the ball, under 2 left in the first half. Williams from Norwalk, Connecticut. This is Amy Duran, one of the most highly recruited high school players in the country last year. Freshman now at UConn. Great interior passing. Elliott fed Kelly Hunt. She missed him in close and then traveled when she wound up with the free ball. Timeout. Tennessee as well. That young man is 5-year-old Tyler Summitt, the son of the Tennessee coach, helping Shamiqua Holdsclaw stretch. Tyler, they tell us, is obsessed with Kelly Jolly, experiencing his first crush on a young lady. And Pat Summitt told us some funny stories about that yesterday, which we'll share as time permits. Conklin knocked in a 3. She has 7. And a traveling call against Rita Williams. Three-pointer has given the Lady Vols a 4-point lead, matching their largest advantage.
Connecticut, a team that likes to pass, already has 15 turnovers this game. Their high was against Georgetown, 26. But Tennessee knows they like to pass. They've really picked up their defense aggressively. Connecticut is going to have to do a better job in the second half, I think, Sean, coming out and come out a little bit more relaxed and look for back doors.
Out of bounds, UConn ball.
Kara Walters out of the game right now with 2 fouls.
Thursday night at Stores. Williams nearly cleared away Milligan with a free arm. See the time remaining in the half, and 15 seconds remain on the shot clock. Zadi came to a jump stop. Crowd thought she traveled. Ashton Thompson the rebound.
Well, she's just really taken more on her shoulders. We said how she has struggled offensively this year, only 39%. Last year she was 50%. But she just feels that she has to take charge of this team, and you lose somebody like Pam Weber and Rebecca Lobo, the player of the year, you're going to have more on your shoulders.
UConn looking for the final shot of the half. The shot clock is off. And a bad pass. Time for a heave for Tennessee. Davis, three-quarter court. Oh, boy, right on line, but off the front rim. 21 and Connecticut 27. Andrea Joyce will be along from New York with Pennzoil at the half after this message. And
well, Elliott and Nikisha Sales, the front line for Connecticut out, they did a much better job on the offensive boards.
Tiffany Johnson and Jen Rosati, the leading scorers. Rosati had 9, and Johnson had 10 to lead all scorers in the first half.
Something that really also stood out for me was the fact that Connecticut only has 6 assists, and they average over 21 a game.
Connecticut's ball to begin the second half. This is Carla Berube. And now Walters. They knew where to go to open the half. Back to their All-American, and Kara Walters, the junior from Holliston, Massachusetts, has 8.
Well, the other thing, Tennessee did such a good job on Jamal Elliott, only 2 rebounds and no points. She averages over 10 points a game, and also Nikisha Sales averaging over 14 points a game, and she only had 4 in that first half.
Ashton Thompson blocked from behind by Walters. Walters has to be careful with 2 fouls. Rosati the steal, but then she dribbled on the sideline, apparently, or stepped on the sideline. And Tennessee will play it in.
I'm sorry, Sean. I just love her hustle.
Those of you who aren't familiar with the women's game, there is no 10-second call in the backcourt. There's a 30-second shot clock, and you do not shoot 2 free throws on the 10th team foul unless it was in the act of shooting. There is no double bonus after 10, as there is in the men's game. 1 minute played, second half. And a pass by Elliott deflected by Passion Thompson. Thompson might have injured a finger on the play.
Connecticut's really telegraphing their passes also. It's easy for Tennessee to step in or put their arms up in the air.
Marciniak missed the 3. Another turnover. Then again, the failure of Tennessee to capitalize as they miss a shot. Berube, junior from Oxford, Massachusetts. Rosati on the baseline. So she's been on the side.
These guys one-on-one, or the players that they're up against defensively, if you don't get help from your teammates.
Shamiqua Holdsclaw, short with it. Walters above the crowd at 6'7". You also can't continue to commit turnovers at nearly 1 a minute and expect to beat a team that's won 69 in a row at home. Berube off the handoff was fouled, and she'll have a chance to put UConn on top. She took the handoff from Walters at the foul line, went in for the layup and scored, and was fouled with a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, Berube, a very good offensive player. They run the short post right there, give and go, and Berube beats Johnson. Johnson trying to switch and just can't get over there quick enough.
Second foul on Tiffany Johnson. Berube converts the 3-point play, and UConn has scored the first 5 points of the second half. We've gone 2 minutes into the second half, and Tennessee has not scored. Holdsclaw. Looks like UConn's looking to trap in the half court.
There's Marciniak's famous spin. They call her Spinderella this year.
And the telegraph pass by Holdsclaw was deflected by Rosati. Sales gave it back to Rosati for the layup. And it's all Connecticut here in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. And Pat Summitt wants a 20-second timeout. And in the AFC playoff game today, Pittsburgh handled Buffalo with relative ease.
Gino Ariema said one of the keys for their team also to do well, not only rebounding, but if they shoot anywhere percentage-wise what they've been shooting, which is over 50% as a team, they've got a good chance of winning the game.
And that's the first point of the second half for Tennessee. Michelle Marciniak. UT now 1 of 5 shooting in the half. Connecticut a perfect 3 for 3. Sales, the runner, blocked out of bounds by Holdsclaw.
Great position by Holdsclaw. And she really has added a different dimension for Tennessee as far as her size at 6'2". You can see she can handle the ball. She blocks shots. She's great in the open court, can shoot the outside shot. Just does everything.
And Rosati called for the foul as holds claw. Put it up from the lane. That's 2 personals on Jen Rosati. Pat Summit, in her 22nd year as head coach of the University of Tennessee. She became head coach at age 22. Back then it was a graduate assistant position. She had to teach 4 classes. Now she has a total compensation package worth about $250,000 a year. And you add together her salary and the other perks that come from camps and shoe deals and TV and radio income.
We were teammates on the 76 Olympic team, and she was the 84 Olympic coach that brought home the gold.
The 76 team in which Myers and Summit played were silver medalists, and they won their first gold medal ever. USA women's basketball in '84 when Pat Head Summit was the coach. Walters didn't get the hook to drop. Passion Thompson the rebound. Great play by Rosati, and a travel called against Marciniak. Wait a minute. Ruby has gone to the bench. Rita Williams back in for the Huskies, and now trailed by 1 with 16:20 left here in Knoxville. Walters forced to the baseline by Thompson. Johnson wound up with the free ball.
Thompson and Johnson really doing a good job on Walters, making her get out of position to take a good shot selection.
Johnson hoists a 3. Didn't drop. There was a whistle for a foul away from the ball. And a kick ball. And they out-rebounded the Lady Vols by 10. And Pat Summit also said her team's shot selection down the stretch was poor, and he hoped that would not be a problem today.
Because Connecticut had 10 blocks in that game also.
Kelly Jolly was unlucky. That went halfway down before spinning back out.
That was a nice pass by Shamiqua Holzclaw.
Williams and Rosati on the floor with Sales, Walters, and Elliott. And Sales is called for a travel. Jamel Elliott is playing with 3 fouls for UConn.
And Sales and Elliott just have not gotten into this game, and they are 2 key factors as far as offense for this Husky team.
Elliott's had a up-and-down week. Double dribble called against Marciniak. Jamel Elliott did not score Tuesday night in the upset loss at Syracuse, and then came back with a double-double in the first half Thursday night at home against Georgetown. 20 turnovers now committed by UConn, and Tennessee has just reached double figures with 10. And it's a 1-point game. Williams goes by the much taller Tiffany Johnson, and her pass was deflected back to her. Held ball with Jolly, and the ball goes.
He said, you know, if we cannot get our perimeter game going to open up our inside game, we're going to have a tough time. And again, Tennessee is
the score. And right off the inbound play, left alone for 3 was Jamel Elliott, but it rimmed out to Johnson, and this is Marciniak. Holzclaw miscommunicated with Latina Davis. Davis started toward the bucket. The pass was behind her, and both teams sloppy.
Davis has been a little quiet, too. She's a player that can really take over this game, and she was another player that was at the World University Games.
Sales, former National High School Player of the Year. She was 2 years ago. Holzclaw was last year. And a backcourt violation. That's a rule change.
A time ago when I played.
Yeah.
Didn't have the backcourt.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. It wasn't all that long ago.
Always had the 30-second clock.
Conklin missed a 3, but all alone was Shamiqua Holzclaw. She has 12. She's been in double figures now in all 13 games of her career. And the lead 3 for the Lady Vols. Rosati. Elliott for the tie. Controlled by Davis. Marciniak for 2. And Tennessee has its largest lead, and the crowd truly into it.
You see the screen right here, and Holzclaw comes right in, wide open, nobody checking her out. Nice, easy 2.
The officials out of the timeout just put the ball on the floor, and the 5 count begins. UConn got it in on time. But then Rosati's pass, a bad pass, tipped away by Johnson. Tennessee on an 8-0 run over the last 3.5 minutes. Holtzclaw. Rebound by Sales in traffic.
You see the Husky players, Sean, I think a lot of indecision. Oh, do I take this shot? They're really hesitating out there, and not a lot of confidence. And I think that last 2 series by Tennessee gave them a lot of confidence and got the fans behind them.
Sales missed a run or two strong. Walters the fall away, and that ends the Tennessee run of 8 straight points. And it's a 3-point game, and they come to trap Marciniak. Remember now, no 10-second violation in the backcourt. They can take as much time as they need. Now it's 2-on-1. Davis the pull-up. Holtzclaw fouled by Rosati on the way back up in 3.
Classic, and Tamiko Holtzclaw ended up being the MVP of that tournament as a freshman.
Tamiko has 12 points today. He averages 15 a game. She also has 5 rebounds today. He averages 9 per game. 1 out of 2. 40-36. UT with the lead. Just under 13 minutes remaining here in Knoxville. A 69-game home court winning streak on the line for Tennessee today. Milligan nearly had the steal as she knocked it out of the hands of Rosati.
Gino said that he wanted a high-scoring game, but the low score benefits Tennessee right now.
Amy Duran, the freshman, with her first shot. Rebound by Johnson, and she cleared herself some room. Holtzclaw to Milligan, quickly for Conklin, and Walters there to reject it.
Well, both these teams played the national team this year, and there's a spot open. A lot of people have suggested that Carol Walters be that 12th player on the Olympic team.
She says she's not thinking about that at all. She is only concerned with helping Connecticut defend its national championship. She'll think about the Olympics when the year is over.
Which is a great approach.
I wonder, though, if she can actually put it completely out of her mind. She rebounded the miss by Latina Davis, and now it's 2 to tie. And Rosati with a chance for a 3-point play to give them the lead. And Tennessee fans have seen Jen Rosati streaking to the basket before. It was her driving layup late in the championship game that was the key play as Connecticut finished off the comeback and won the national title.
She had a few moves like this in the first half. She just loves to split the defense. The ball did not fall for her in the first half, but she just keeps coming at you. And it's great to have a player like that that just drives and drives and drives, not so much only to the basket, but just to keep the other team up and to get them pumped up emotionally.
Rosati has 13 points and 3 assists. The biology major at UConn, an outstanding student, had a 3.6 grade point average to make the Dean's List last semester. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA women's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. At the moment is 7-1 on the heels of that 8-0 UT run, and a foul in the backcourt. And if it's against Rosati, it's 4, and it is. It's on Jen Rosati, so the All-American point guard has 4 fouls and is on the brink and has to be very careful, and it looks like she'll come out with 11:41 remaining.
Something's got to be called. Yeah, Rosati's the back person, but I don't think she gets a hand on her.
Oh, and Keisha Sales grabbing at her right knee as she went to trap, and she limps over to play Marciniak. She's still hobbling. She came in when Rosati went to the bench, and a foul called underneath as Passion Thompson hoisted a shot.
This is where Connecticut defense
has not scored today. She averages nearly 11 per game, and now she's on the score sheet.
You see the knees hit. It's one of the reasons Jen Rosati wears knee pads. And to tell you the truth, I'm surprised more basketball players, males and females, do not wear knee pads, because especially with all the knee injuries that go on today.
And the rebound in traffic. And Latina Davis at 5'6" managed to score, and Marciniak nearly picked off the pass right in front of us.
You talk about Passion Thompson averaging over almost 11 points a game. Latina Davis, that's her first 2 points, and she averages over 12.
So it's Tennessee by 2 at 43-41, 11:15 remaining. Williams had to stop as Milligan ran out on her. It's actually the second time UConn has played in this building this year. They played in the Hall of Fame Classic, lost to Louisiana Tech in the season opener in overtime by 1. I do not have fond memories of this building. That was the only time that they played here.
I go offensively for Connecticut. They just need to calm down a little bit. Look into the seams. They're passing around the horn really well, but then they're not penetrating into the seams, and I think it will open up things more for them inside.
Walter's shot was short, but Berube hit the deck to keep it alive. Out of bounds. Tennessee ball. And Marciniak guarded closely by Sale. Conklin. Too strong. Conklin got the rebound and scored. 9 points for Abby Conklin.
She's been a lift off the bench for the Lady Vols.
Rita Williams thought about a 3. And a hold called in the low post. Just the third team foul this half on Tennessee, the third personal on Passion Thompson. Midway through the half now, 10 minutes remaining. Tennessee by 4. Berube, nice pass. Jamel Elliott was all alone along the baseline. And that's the first bucket of the game for Jamel Elliott. She had gone 85 games in a row with at least 1 point, so she was shut out at Syracuse Tuesday night and went a long way without scoring today. Conklin missed a 3. There's Latina Davis again, but she stepped on the end line after she ties 3 for the lead for Connecticut. Williams nearly dribbled into a double team. They played 2.5 minutes without Rosati now. Air ball hoisted by Duran.
Duran, the freshman, coming in, thought she had an open shot, but Walters was standing right there closer to the basket.
Latina Davis. That's 4 for Latina Davis. She's creeping up on 1,000 points for her career now. She needs 40 to become the 22nd Lady Vol ever to reach 1,000 career points.
And we'll have to see how long Jen Rosati can stay out of the game. Waits, but the Tennessee players are very, very strong.
Rosati back in the game with 4 fouls. She spent 2 minutes and 54 seconds on the bench. And UConn was outscored 7-2 while she was out. UConn led by 1 when she went to the bench. They're down 4 now. Rosati. I guess she makes more than a little bit of difference.
Well, the thing is with Connecticut, when she's in the game, she can penetrate like that, and that's the first time in the half-court offense that she has penetrated to open things up. I think Tennessee's doing a good job as far as cutting Walters off, making it very difficult for her to receive the ball, but Connecticut has to do something else as far as their perimeter players to penetrate and attack like that, and Jen Rosati did.
8 on the shot clock as Holtzclaw nails the pull-up. 15 for the freshman, Samiqua Holtzclaw.
And look at how easy she did that. It was so smooth. She just took kind of like a little fake, one dribble in, and nice little rise to the basket.
Walters is just getting knocked around like a pin, shooting well enough to take advantage. Rosati and Holtzclaw leading their respective teams in scoring, and I think we've seen here in the last 4 minutes of game action in that it's absolutely vital that Jen Rosati avoid that 5th foul if UConn's going to win this game.
Well, no question. She did not foul out of a game last year, and as aggressive as she is very good at keeping her hands to herself and avoiding a lot of fouls. So it'll be important how the official calls her last foul if she picks it up.
Rosati has 16 points, 3 assists. She's 5 out of 9 from the floor, 5 for 5 from the line, but she is saddled with 4 fouls. Walters, backdoor, Rosati. Run to perfection. The offense in the half court by UConn on that trip.
Really, coming out of that timeout, I thought Gino Ariema did a good job setting up that play.
Marciniak bumping with Sale. Now it's Latina Davis with 15 on the shot clock. And Marciniak's return pass to Davis did not connect.
Good idea by Pat Summitt as far as sending Davis down and posting Rosati up. And
once again, The chance for Connecticut to tie with a two-pointer or take the lead with 3. Berube guarded very tightly by Holtzclaw. Berube flips it to Walters. Walters in the lane a long time, stripped by Marciniak. 2-on-1. Davis. Rosati was the defender. There was no way she could aggressively defend that 2-on-1 with 4 fouls.
Well, Connecticut made a nice pass inside to Walters, and she has been open. They've just got to get her the ball sooner. She's working too hard in there, and when she's open, everybody's got their head down dribbling, and by the time they see her, she's still working harder on the defense, and by that time, she's covered.
She looks very tired. You saw that she kind of stumbled and threw up a wild shot. Gino Auriemma thought she was fouled, and the miss by Conklin. And it's still a 4-point game with 6 minutes remaining. Tennessee leads 51-47. For 3. Off the mark and over the backboard.
Now back in 91, they went to the Final Four.
Marciniak. Tiffany Johnson had to go off her hands and out of bounds. UConn's won 9 Big East championships under Auriemma, 5 regular season titles, 4 tournament crowns. And with 5.5 minutes left, it's still a 4-point game and a hand check called against Shamiqua Holtzclaw. Coming up next, it's the CBS Sports Show.
Good block out by Tennessee.
And the 2 teams have gone cold. UConn's had a couple of chances to move closer than the 4-point deficit they face at the moment. Conklin missed a 3. Walters ran into her own player, Williams, but the ball wound up in the hands of Sales. Both teams look a little bit tired with 5 minutes left.
It's been an up-tempo game. There's a push from behind on Conklin and nothing called.
.13 on the shot clock. Shot clock at 5. Sales forced to create. Walters didn't get a shot on.
This is where Jen Rosati, the point guard, really has to take control. Gino was calling the play on the sideline, and Rita Williams really didn't know where to go, but somebody's got to step up.
51-47. And time running out. 4:20 left. Davis alone. Tennessee now shooting 33% for this half. Williams bounced it off her foot. Marciniak took it away.
Well, Connecticut hasn't been getting some breaks. You've seen a lot of balls bounce off their feet to create some of those turnovers.
Well, it seems as though neither team will score again. We've been at 51-47 for a long time. 26 turnovers now by UConn, matching their season high. Shot clock ticking down with 3 on the shot clock. Marciniak missed a 3. Walters didn't have to leave her feet to be above the crowd and grab the rebound. Under 3.5 minutes remaining. Still a 4-point game. And a timeout left in the second half. UConn's gone well over 4 minutes now without a basket. But they're still only down by 4. 3:10 remaining in the game.
Lots of long passes by Connecticut.
And again, the shot clock is running out, and Amy Duran, the freshman, drives in a 3 from the corner, her first points of the game. And Gino Auriemma told us yesterday she is probably their best shooter, and she picked a great time from the Huskies' perspective to score her first point.
I was going to say, coming out of that timeout, I felt Tennessee in that the last series have been getting better shot selections than Connecticut has been.
Holtzclaw. Long with it. Off the hands of Latina Davis and out of bounds. Neither team has reached the 17 fouls. Neither has a 20 left. But Tennessee has 3 full timeouts left. UConn has 2, and the arrow points to the Huskies. They can take the lead. They've trailed through this entire second half, with the exception of the early run. But now they lead, And Elliott has a chance to make it a 2-point lead as she was fouled with 2:18 remaining.
What a great pass by Jen Rosati. She comes out on the top, gets a pass from Berube, comes around the top of the key, sees the penetration. Look at the help by Conklin. She does a good job on the rotation defensively, but that time Tiffany Johnson cannot get over there quick enough, and Gino is a happy coach.
Last lead for Connecticut was at 41-40. That was when Rosati went to the bench with 11:41 left. They trailed for the last 9.5 minutes, but they lead now. And the senior co-captain Elliott with a chance to make the advantage 2 points. It is. Well, the first half of our doubleheader on CBS went to overtime, and UConn and Tennessee are heading to the wire in part 3 of their rivalry over the last 12 months.
Pat Summitt has felt her team this year is a better half-court team rather than in the open court.
2 minutes remaining. 10 on the shot clock. Passion Thompson. Holtzclaw, the freshman, for 3. Rebounded by Sales. Rosati picked up all the way by Davis.
Well, Connecticut started the year, first 6 games on the road, and their loss in overtime against Louisiana Tech.
Great cut by Elliott. Looked like she was bumped, missed the shot, got it back, and did not score. And Passion Thompson came up with the free ball.
They played in that Hall of Fame game here at Knoxville and lost to Louisiana Tech in overtime.
All-time record in women's basketball for consecutive home wins. But Jen Rosati and the Connecticut Huskies trying to end it. There have been a couple of close calls during that streak for Tennessee. They had a 1-point win over Penn State here on December 28th of 1991, and a 4-point win over Colorado in overtime December 20th of 1993. The streak dates back to February 2nd of 91. Having a non-conference home loss in more than 6 years.
That was Louisiana Tech, who was number 1.
Back in '89, Latina Davis fired an air ball on the move, and now it's Connecticut with the ball and a 2-point lead under a minute remaining.
Yeah, I thought that was a good shot by Davis. It really took off on her hands, but I thought shot selection-wise it was a good shot.
And it's the 7th team foul against Tennessee, so the 1-and-1 situation is in effect. Abby Conklin comes back in, replacing Passion Thompson. Not a bad choice if you have to pick a player to put on the line, a freshman playing in a nationally televised game, but Amy Duran says, it isn't bothering me. UConn now 8 for 8 from the line today.
She's a 75% free throw shooter as a freshman, so that's not too shabby. As Gino said, she's one of their best shooters.
She's from Bethesda, Maryland. She makes 2 clutch free throws. And UConn leads by 4. And this 4-point lead for Connecticut is the largest lead the Huskies have had in the game. And they've only committed 5 team fouls, so if they wanted to bump a couple times along the way and slow things down, they can without putting Tennessee on the line. They can do that once.
Believing there's plenty of time on the clock, so Jen Rosati still needs to stay in the game for the Huskies.
Marciniak for 3, short. Tennessee ice cold down the stretch.
I think she would have liked to work it around a little bit more, but Marciniak was wide open. We had a chance to talk to her yesterday, and she was saying, I like to be the player that's going to win or lose the game, but there's still plenty of time left on the clock.
UConn clutch from the line. Have not missed a free throw in the game. Meanwhile, the Lady Vols would have a tough time throwing the ball in the Tennessee River that runs right along the outside of this building. They have not scored a point in 6 minutes and 13 seconds. That's how long they've been stuck on 51. Tennessee has shot 28% in the second half. And they face their largest deficit, 6 points with 30 seconds remaining.
Jamel Elliott, who really did not have a great scoring game, knocked down 4 free throws at the end of the game.
And finally, they end the long drought. It's Tiffany Johnson, who had 10 points in the first half, didn't have any in the second half until that bucket. The lead.
Everybody, Louisiana Tech, Stanford, Connecticut, And last year was the first time they played against each other, and now it's like a big rivalry. Stanford has become a big rivalry with Tennessee, and Louisiana Tech has.
Seconds left. It's the freshman Duran who made 2 huge free throws a moment ago. Back at the stripe. UConn still perfect from the line. Duran has 6 points in the game. The big three-pointer in the second half, and 3 for 3 from the line. And that's the first miss for the Huskies. They're 12 out of 13 from the stripe. 5-point game, 15 seconds left. Marciniak kicks it out. Jolly for 3 and air ball. And with 6 seconds left, Elliott 0 for 9 now from 3-point range this half.
Well, one thing for Tennessee, you know, it's still a young team, but they're going to be there. They're ranked number 4 right now, and a big win for Connecticut.
Elliott, without a teammate in the lane area, got a bounce, hit the rim, brushed the backboard, and fell through. One out of 2, the lead 6 with 5 seconds to go. Conklin, a 3 that would not drop. A fitting conclusion as Tennessee was ice cold throughout the second half. And the record home court winning streak is over at 69. Gito Auriemma. And the Connecticut Huskies come to Knoxville and defeat the Lady Vols by 6. And Connecticut now 3-0 against Tennessee in a 12-month period. Those are the only 3 meetings all time between the 2 schools. And the players of the game from Genuine Chevrolet are Jennifer Rizzotti of Connecticut, 18 points and 5 assists, and Shamiqua Holtzclaw of Tennessee. In celebrating its 25th year of NCAA sponsorship, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students.
That's a great play by Cunningham. She's just a step out of her range. She passes it to Sam and then steps into her range, and a good return pass. Boy, that's a smart play. And there's no turnover. You can get inside the defense on the dribble, but you're not going to do it on the pass. That's what Purdue has been trying to do the entire game.
Villanova, 8th-ranked Villanova beating Boston College earlier, and Michigan with the win over Northwestern in Big Ten action.
Boy, Rice over Texas. In Texas, that's hard to imagine.
NC State trailing Virginia early, and Buffalo finally getting on the board against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Denon Rowland finds Lovelace inside to Summer Erb for 2.
And that's what you have to do. When you draw those big kids, somebody's got to be open. Erb doing a nice job cutting to the basket. Erb had 17 points her last game against Illinois, so she can certainly score. Purdue's got to get it done on the defensive end now. They've got to get some stops or create some turnovers.
And they showed, and there they do. They showed they could do that in the first half. Stephanie White. Now White will try from outside, and it's a good for 3.
So you've got to like White's demeanor out on the basketball court.
Coach talked about her. Very mature, very savvy, smart player.
That's Cunningham's spot right there.
Perfect spot. Don't leave her alone right there.
Talked about Erb's last game. Cunningham's last game was a 26-point, 11-rebound, 4-block shot performance.
Lead. Stacey Lovelace.
Oh, what a good rebound.
There's the ball. Excellent rebound. Cherie Sam fighting for possession underneath the basket. That'll be Summer Erb's first.
Now, Purdue looking for some offense right at the moment, and I think Lynn Dunn going to try Summer Erb on the inside there for a little while to see if they can't produce some offensive numbers. They only trail by 10. Man-to-man defense.
And as you mentioned, Erb quite productive in their last game against Illinois at home. Go inside to Gorsica. Can't get it to go.
Angela not really noted as a great offensive player. Her game is more rebounding and defense, but Herb did a nice job not letting Gorsica get to the basket.
Herb, a real physical, imposing player on the inside.
Here's Vanderbilt back to the zone defense.
Finding Lovelace inside, but all she finds is Gorsica. Herb will try over Cunningham, can't get it to go. Gorsica's there for the board.
They need to get a better inside-outside game going. When the ball goes inside, the defense collapses. Somebody ought to be open on the perimeter. It's just too hard to shoot over those big kids inside.
They can't seem to find that person outside, but now Purdue, Griffin, a sophomore from Fullerton, California, another outstanding recruit.
Three-point shooter, but Vanderbilt has not given her any room.
Nope. She shoots about 40% from three-point range.
Here's the matchup zone once again.
Erickson looking, and there she gets one.
Oh, that was right on cue. And that makes it a 7-point game. You know, you don't want to forget the fact. Remember, this is a 30-second shot clock. There's lots of possessions in a women's game there. Tanya Kirk gets the foul. Purdue is on an 8-2 run right at the moment. If they can get themselves another turnover and a basket here, they're right back in the game.
Well, Vandy will send in Michelle Palmisano. Michelle Palmisano, an outstanding three-point shooter herself, and also an outstanding student carrying a 4.0 in biomedical and electrical engineering, if you can imagine that.
No,
At Vanderbilt.
no, I can't imagine that.
Try to imagine.
No, it's very hard. Angela Gorsica, almost a 3.8 in electrical engineering. There's Cunningham. What a move inside. That's a pretty tough high-low combination to deal with. One of the things that happens is you've got to know who's out there. Summer Herb does not need to get that close to Angela Gorsica. She doesn't have the outside jump shot. And as a result, if you put pressure on Gorsica, that opens up the inside. Gorsica just looks over the top. Cunningham's in there. She's against two people, but she's still able to power it up. You've got to know who's out there. If that's Cunningham out at the top, you go out and guard her. If it's Gorsica, you drop off and play in the passing lane, and Purdue made a defensive mistake right there.
Kirk with her third foul. And now Cunningham, 13 points in this game.
13 points in the game, but 9 in the second half. Purdue has cut down on the turnovers, and they shut off Cherie Sand in transition, but they haven't had an answer from Mara Cunningham.
Michelle Van Gorp tried that hook shot again. It worked for her once in the first half. Didn't work this time. Here comes Sam driving. Well defended. She takes the outside shot. Can't get it to go. And Van Gorp.
Oh, boy, she just slapped her down.
Cherie Sand looks like she took a poke in the eye.
Boy, and Jim Foster got up off the bench and almost ran out on the court and said, get up and get going. And now Lynn Dunn's upset because the referee blew the whistle and stopped the game. Now watch here, the old slap, get out of here, bang, down she goes. Now Purdue's on a fast break, and Lynn Dunn is upset that the official stop call getting the back of one hand.
Indeed. Janon Rowland bringing in the ball for Purdue.
Here's that matchup zone.
And it's Palmisano collapsed.
Slap down on the one end, and then the knee drop up here.
Erickson finds Lovelace. Lovelace will drive. Nice dish to Van Gorp, and it goes. Van Gorp, just 4 points in this game. And splitting time with Summer Herb, the freshman. The two tallest players ever to play for the Purdue women's team.
Now in the man-to-man defense, Purdue starting to foul. Vanderbilt being very aggressive, looking inside. Angela Gorsica doing a great job at step.
Purdue and Vandy, 4 fouls apiece in the second half. Palmisano's three does not fall.
Cunningham's going to get called for the foul. Cunningham just gives it the great expression and the hand wave up the court like, okay.
Fine, I'll take it.
All right. We've got an 8-point basketball game right here. The way Vanderbilt has played, you think they're ahead by more, but you look up at the scoreboard, With a three-pointer, Purdue could get it to 5.
47-39, Vandy leading it. There's the thorn in the Boilermakers side, and here comes Sam, who's the other thorn in the Boilermakers side.
And that's what's happened throughout the game, particularly in the first half. A turnover, a transition situation, and Cherie Sam just does a great job finishing him on the break.
Van Gorp, another 6 points for the sophomore.
That's a great response. And now she gets back. Now who walked? Oh, it's Van Gorp who walked. I wondered if they were going to call that off. Defensive end, Purdue is still in this basketball game. Turnovers have really killed them.
Well, and Mara Cunningham is very much in this game as well. 4 points in the first half, 9 in the second.
One of the problems if you're Purdue and you're trying to come back, and the opposition has a player like Cherie Sam who's just so difficult to guard. She can get a shot about any time she wants to, it seems.
18 points for Sam so far. That's right about her game average. We'll see what she finishes with today.
Vandy showing Purdue a different look, the man-to-man defense now. Oh, what a move by White. In the first half, Purdue had success against the man-to-man, taking the ball to the basket, and White did a great job right there.
Lynn Dunn has to be happy about that, to see her freshman getting more aggressive just as she's asked her to, but back comes Sam with the answer.
A great screen out on top by Angela Gorsica, and Van Gorp simply didn't help Rowland.
Nicole Erickson setting things up for the Boilermakers. Rowland.
That Rowland-Sam matchup was one that Cheryl Swoops talked about before the game, and right now it's going all in favor of Sam. Here she comes again.
And the foul on Erickson. Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports puts on some big-time hoop action. It's a full afternoon of regional coverage, beginning with Denny Crum's Louisville Cardinals taking on Felipe Lopez and the St. John's Red Storm at Madison Square Garden. Plus, the Washington Huskies visit the Oregon Ducks, and the Alabama Crimson Tide meets Mississippi State. That's regional wheel action. You'll get a little bit of everything. We'll keep you with the hottest action. That's next Saturday on CBS.
Now, if you're Vanderbilt, what you want to do is avoid being tentative. You want to continue to attack. You want to get good shots, and that's called attacking basketball right there. Again, Gorsica doing a great job setting screens up high, and the Purdue defense just not reacting very well to those screens.
Vanderbilt showing that different look in the backcourt with Respondek and Ostrom.
And Purdue going with a smaller, quicker lineup right now. A front line of Rowland, Lovelace, and Kirk. Backcourt of Erickson and White. So Vanderbilt much smaller at the moment, and we'll see if they try to turn up, or excuse me, Purdue much smaller at the moment. See if they try to turn up the defensive pressure.
And Ostrom sinks the second part of that free throw. Ostrom really playing an impressive game.
A great pass. Now, by going to this smaller lineup, it's a little bit quicker lineup. Maybe that's going to cause some problems for Gorsica and Cunningham on the inside, but Stephanie White getting out quickly, showing you the ability to get to the basket. She may not necessarily be the quickest person on the floor, but she's got a good first step, very strong once she gets inside. That time, got in the middle of the crowd and made a great pass.
Take a look at some other action going on in women's basketball. Georgia Tech leading North Carolina early first half. Rutgers and West Virginia. Stacey Lovelace averaging almost 14 points a game. And Lynn Dunn has called a 20-second timeout for the Boilermakers. 17 points per game over the last 5, but look at her credentials.
She's got great credentials. One of the problems that Purdue has had today with that Lovelace really not playing against Cherie Sam, but you can see that Lovelace with 8 points and 3 rebounds has not been the kind of factor I think that she needs to be for this Purdue team to be successful in a situation like this. A player with her, particularly her offensive credentials, just has to be more involved in the game.
Lovelace, high hyperextended her knee early in the season. They say it's not bothering her at all anymore. But that slowed her down just a little bit early on, as well as we mentioned, the pressure she put on herself coming off an All-American team. Responded. Going up against Erickson.
Shot clock running down.
4 seconds left on the shot clock, and there it goes. Look at Sam.
That's so important to have somebody that can create her own shot when the shot clock is running down.
The kick out to Rowland and up to Erickson. The jump shot doesn't go.
Vanderbilt doing a great job on defense, but this is Vanderbilt on offense. As the shot clock runs down, Vanderbilt has the ball in the hands of the person where they want it. And Sam, what power right there to turn to the basket despite the defensive pressure and still get the ball up and get it down.
Another reason the comparisons are drawn up between Cherie Sam and Stacey Lovelace, both Player of the Year candidates, both being scrutinized.
Lovelace not really in a position from the 4 or 5 spot. She steals the ball right there to create her own shot. Sam, playing out on the perimeter and able to handle the ball very effectively, can create her own shot, and she certainly showed it on that last play.
Just under 9 minutes remain in this second half. Michelle Van Gorp with the turnaround. Again, Van Gorp, just a sophomore. She said she was surprised that she was getting as much playing time as she is.
Vanderbilt electing to go man-to-man. No pressure really coming down on Van Gorp, and she did a great job turning to the basket and shooting. The key to this play is that no help comes from Vandy. Gorsica moving her feet, but you see Van Gorp very quickly turns to the basket. Gorsica moves underneath and gets the foul.
Her second. And that is exactly why Lynn Dunn is giving Van Gorp this much time. She said, we want to invest in her. She is our future at the center spot. Last year, she only got 2 to 3 minutes a game. She's not going to improve that way. Let's let her play.
She continues to show quick movement like that on the inside. It'll force the defense to collapse on her, and that's going to create some openings out on the perimeter.
Van Gorp with 9 points. Jared over to Gorsica. Back to Jared. Erickson takes a fall, but no call. Machina Hillman back in for Vandy.
A lot of people falling down at the moment. It's only a 9-point game.
And with over 8 minutes to play, that's not much. Not much of a margin. Lovelace.
And that's something that Jim Foster does not want to see. Angela Gorsica going out to the corner and allowing the pass to be made inside. And without Gorsica inside, an easy opportunity for Purdue and a 7-point game.
Cunningham not in at the moment, so Gorsica really the inside presence. Ostrom almost loses the handle. Ginger Jared picks it up. Back out to Gorsica. And now Jared driving, dishing.
And walking. Now Jim Foster's going to get a 20-second timeout because all of a sudden the wheels have come off his offense a little bit, not executing very well. Only 4 Purdue turnovers, only 4 Vandy points off those turnovers, so the Boilermakers doing a better job protecting the ball, and as a result, they've got the opportunity to cut it to 5 or 4 with a 3.
Nice kick out to Erickson. She sends it back up to White, finds Lovelace inside. Shot doesn't fall, but she draws the foul.
Lovelace has such a great game with her back to the basket. She gets down inside at 6'4". She may be a little smaller than Angela Gorsica, for example, but that quickness gets her to the basket. Gorsica matched up inside against Lovelace, and Lovelace with the fake nails Gorsica to the floor and then has the athletic ability to get around there quickly. You can see she's upset she missed the shot, but she got to the basket very, very effectively. I really like her game with her back to the basket. She hasn't shown us a jump shot in this particular ball game. It's in her repertoire, but back to the basket, she has been outstanding.
Sinks both her free throws, and Purdue on a 7-0 run. Yashima Hillman taking a stumble down the court. Back up on her feet, and Cherie Sam. Finding Cunningham inside. Van Gorp calls for the foul.
One of the problems that Vanderbilt has had as Van Gorp picks up the third foul is they have not been scoring effectively. And so Angela Gorsuch goes out of the game and Mara Cunningham comes in. And now suddenly with Hillman and Cunningham in the game, Vanderbilt a little bit more powerful inside offensively, and they go right to Cunningham.
Mara Cunningham from Fairfax, Virginia.
She's now scored 10 points in the second half.
And on the season, a 62% field goal shooter. 14 points this afternoon. She's in her 5th year as a senior.
Van Gorp stepped into the lane, Michelle, so
And that is something,
had another one.
ironically, that Jim Foster was telling his Commodores, you've got to watch the lane violations. Maybe Lynn forgot to mention it to Michelle.
No, the coaches mention it all the time.
Maybe Michelle forgot to listen. 7 points stand between Vanderbilt and Purdue.
Michelle, I was just about to say that Purdue needs to get a shot at the basket. They don't want to turn it over, and Stacey Lovelace, with the fake, moves her feet and travels. So now, as we get under 7 minutes, Purdue's really got to work on the defensive end. That is a great catch. So Hillman not able to finish.
Hillman, a very enthusiastic player, an outstanding freshman season last year. Unanimous first-team All-SEC. Freshman All-SEC and unanimous freshman All-American. And there's Michelle Van Gorp again with the 2.
And Lovelace really creating opportunities, penetrating to the basket, drawing the defense.
Nice open shot. Right in the range.
And she has been so good from that particular spot on the floor. Excellent ball moves, but if Gorsuch is in the game, she doesn't shoot that one.
Vandy with the pressure D, now backing off. Cole Erickson directing traffic.
A lot of movement by Purdue on the offensive end.
Inside, Van Gorp being watched by Cunningham.
Timeout Purdue.
Lynn Dunn calls the timeout as her Boilermakers trail.
She called a timeout to set up a play.
Stephanie White can't get the tray to fall, but Lovelace comes up with the board.
That was a real nice piece of coaching by Lynn Dunn right there. Her team sort of standing around. I don't think they even realized the shot clock was running down. She called the timeout. Stephanie White got a shot at the basket. They get the rebound. Now Lovelace is going to go to the free throw line.
She has a one-on-one opportunity. And we mentioned she's averaging almost 14 points a game. She gets the front end.
We talked about how she needed to be more involved in the offense, and she has been. She's been handling the ball away from the basket, driving, creating. She's now 5 for 7 from the free throw line, and she's got her team back within 5. Purdue just will not go away.
Trailing by 5, and Vandy showing Ginger Jarrett and Michelle Palmisano in the backcourt. Hillman has not been able to get her shots to fall today. Normally a big offensive contributor. Not this afternoon. She's got 4.
Purdue needs to get a shot and roll in somebody who can penetrate inside that zone.
White taking a look, under 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Actually, it's a man-to-man, and that's a great pass. That is just a tremendous pass. A pretty good catch, but a great, great pass.
The youth of this Purdue team, but it didn't hurt them there. You had the freshman in White with the tremendous pass down low to the sophomore Van Gorp.
Cunningham comes out to help on the screen. Hillman doesn't get over in time, commits 4 personal fouls. Van Gorp does a nice job getting to the basket, but Stephanie White so effective in seeing that opening. 3-point game. Vanderbilt has really run into some problems on the offensive end, and I think you have to credit some very effective defense by Purdue.
Another one on Van Gorp.
Back. So it would really hurt Purdue to lose her.
Fouled out twice this season. They'd like to see Van Gorp stay in. She's been very productive. 13 points.
Both teams in the 1-and-1 now for the rest of the game. Each team with 17 fouls.
Hillman again. Substitution for Vanderbilt. Angela Gorsica coming back in for Hillman. Looking to provide some of that defense, shot blocking. Again, it's that tall lineup where you've got both Mara Cunningham and Gorsica in.
1-2-1-1 pressure. There's no 10-second violation in women's basketball.
White spots up.
Boy, that's a nice play. You make a team pay for pressing you. White hits the big three, and we got a 2-point game. That's hard to believe.
13 points for the freshman. And now she's watching Michelle Palmisano, who is also an excellent three-point shooter, hasn't been real productive today. Gorsica inside, right off the glass. Erickson looking down court, finds White, and cross-court to Rowland.
Gorsica's first 2 points of the basketball game.
As we said, they don't count on her for offense. They look to her for the shot blocking and rebounding. But they'll take those two.
They're not giving them back.
No.
You've got to see where the defense is weak. Lovelace trying to front Gorsica. Gorsica doing a nice job moving without the basketball. Gorsica catches it, and you notice, Michelle, she didn't bring it down. She turned and shot it in. Purdue turns it over.
Palmisano looking inside. Cunningham, nice move, doesn't fall. Gets her on rebound.
Pretty good defense by Van Gorp.
Here goes Palmisano. No good.
Oh, Gorsica does a great job getting it back up on the board. She couldn't pull the rebound down, and she bounced it up on the board. Sam gets it, and I think Van Gorp's just fouled out of the game. Well, it's going to be on Lovelace, so that's a break for Purdue. But you know, as a...
Here she is at the line. Misses the front end.
2-shot foul, so she'll get another one. Lynn Dunn, she has seen her team have some opportunities. They've battled back, and they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, misses both.
Misses both.
And what a great block out by Nicole Erickson.
Sam 4 of 8 from the stripe. She's normally about a 75% free throw shooter. White. Cross-court Van Gorp almost gets in the way. Rowland will drive. Erickson. And the three falls. They're hitting those threes, Sam.
I'm telling you, this combination, we talked about Foster pushing the right buttons, but Lynn Dunn having Stephanie White and Nicole Erickson in the backcourt at the same time has been important in this comeback.
We thought the size was going to help Vanderbilt right now, but in fact... And Jim Foster.
We're in for a good finish here.
We'll go from Nashville to Knoxville. All the action in Tennessee this afternoon. Jared, shot clock down to 5. Palmisano will drive. Waits, puts it up.
Oh, banks it in. Are you kidding me?
Nice poise by Michelle Palmisano. She stretches the Vandy lead back to 3. Lovelace, the drive and the 2.
Lovelace turned her ankle a little bit. She's really hobbling up the court.
She is. Stepping easily on that right, I believe, ankle.
Man-to-man defense by Purdue.
And Van Gorp comes up with the steal.
Purdue has not led in this basketball game, and they have a chance to do it right now.
A struggle for the basketballs. Jump ball called. Possession arrow points to Purdue.
As she stops, she's going to come down, just turns her ankle on Cunningham's foot, steps on Cunningham's foot.
Palmisano coming out of the game. And Nashima Hillman back in. A very enthusiastic player in Hillman.
Hillman going back in place of Gorsica. Ostrom in for Palmisano.
Hillman defending Lovelace. Oh. Nice move by White. She's brought down. White from the line shooting about 69%.
It's a tie game. This has been one gritty effort by the Purdue Boilermakers. And Stephanie White has been a huge factor in this comeback. She misses that free throw.
The opportunity to go ahead for the first time, but it'll stay tied. Vandy will look to maintain. They have led most of this ball game, all of this ball game until this time.
Second chance points, Michelle. Every time Purdue gets back in, it's a turnover or now an offensive rebound. Oh, that's a nice move by Van Gorp to create some space with the little elbow, just enough to get the ball go into the basket. We're under a minute.
What an impressment this game at 68, just under a minute to play. Both teams have 2 full timeouts left. They both use their 20-second timeouts, and both teams in the bonus.
Let's see if Vandy tries to get a quick shot so that they'll get one more possession.
Well, they had to go to Sam. She's their go-to player. Jump ball called. Possession arrow points to Vandy.
What Vanderbilt was trying to do, you get the ball to your best player, you get a quick shot, so even if she misses it, Purdue can't hold the ball for the last one. And Jim Foster wants to call another timeout, I believe.
Game right here on CBS.
And we've seen some good play by big players in this game. Kara Walters, Shamiqua Holsclaw, some pretty good big players. Inside, there's a steal.
Huge steal by the freshman Stephanie White. Can't get it to go, but she draws the foul. And Purdue will maintain possession. Third foul on Sam. And the make for White.
And now we're in a position, there's 44.5 seconds left in the game. Vanderbilt's got to get down, and they have to get a shot. And even if they make it, Purdue, it appears, is going to have the last shot of this game.
First lead for the Purdue Boilermakers, 70-68.
Vanderbilt has one more timeout left.
Cunningham doesn't find anyone. Almost loses it. Ginger Jarrett now handling the traffic for Vandy.
10 on the shot clock.
Lisa Ostrom.
And there's Cunningham, another second shot opportunity right there. Ostrom had to take that shot. The clock was running down. Now some big free throw opportunities for Cunningham. Cunningham comes in the game, not one of the better free throw shooters for Vanderbilt, only 62%. But these are 2 pretty big free throws right here.
Purdue with a 2-point lead. Cunningham's been perfect from the line today. We'll see if she continues that. Purdue, ranked number 17 at this moment, looking to upset number 3 and hand Vandy their first loss. Cunningham sinks the first one.
And now Lynn Dunn is going to get a timeout.
In celebrating its 25th year of NCAA sponsorship, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need.
For both coaches, Michelle, it's an either-or situation. This is what we'll do if she makes it. This is what we'll do if she misses it. If she misses, Purdue obviously just has to hang on to the ball.
And Cunningham ties it up. She is perfect from the stripe this afternoon. 15 seconds to play.
They can hold it for the last one, and that's what they want to do.
Gets it to go.
No basket. And she's called for a travel. She hops with the basketball, and Lynn Dunn is really mad. Established the pitch. She did. She hopped with the ball. That's a traveling violation. I believe Stacey Lovelace. Vanderbilt is get the ball up the court. You don't have to hurry. 8.5 seconds is plenty of time. I think you have plenty of time to get a good shot. If you're Purdue now, both teams are in the bonus. You do not want to foul, but one.
White taps it away from Respondex. She recovers.
She's got to hurry. that was a good job. Just enough time to run off the clock, but Vandy was not able to get a good look.
Van Gorp tips the ball to Purdue.
Matchup zone once again for Vanderbilt.
Erickson has been very effective in this basketball game, running the offense and also defensively.
Oh, what a move by Rowland. And when you penetrate to the basket and draw the defense, you cause situations where your teammates can rebound the ball offensively, and Stacey Lovelace did right there.
This Vanderbilt team sees Janam Rowland in their nightmare. She is the one that iced a three-pointer when Purdue upset Vanderbilt in the NCAA tournament last year. Palmisano out to Jarrett.
Now Vanderbilt turns it over. This is the problem Purdue had in the first half. And the Boilermakers, who didn't go ahead in this game until there were 44 seconds left in the game, now can go up by 4.
White down to Erickson. She takes the three and makes it.
That backcourt combination has been so effective. White being able to operate in that 2-guard spot. Erickson now with 9.
And Ginger Jarrett has looked just a little bit panicked in the latter part of this game.
And Stephanie White, once again, seeing the lob pass going inside, comes with the help defense, gets the foul, but prevents the easy opportunity. And the person...
Freshman All-American last year. Makes it. Second leading scorer and rebounder for this team last season. Big contributor both offensively and defensively for this team, but not quite as much today.
She's been saddled with foul problems most of the day. She's got 4 now. Got to find the shooters in this zone, and there's one of them.
Shot clock down to 8. Mishima Hillman.
And again, as that shot clock runs down, you really feel pressure to get a shot off, and that time Cunningham did a nice job defensively against Lovelace, who had no place to go with it. Man-to-man defense for Purdue.
Out to Jarrett. Jarrett being watched well by Erickson.
Nice pass.
Terrific pass, and Hillman makes it count. Vanderbilt trailing by just 1, 75-74, with about 2.5 remaining in this first overtime period.
A little bit different look to the front of that matchup zone at the moment.
The errant pass, and Hillman intercepts. And Vandy will take its time.
Cunningham and Hillman in the game at the same time. It really creates a nice high-low combination offensively for Vanderbilt. 5 on the shot clock.
Jared looking. Palmisano.
Once he's fouled. Boy, Stephanie White hasn't made very many mistakes today.
Michelle Palmisano at the line for the Commodores.
And I'm telling you, Vanderbilt has made some big free throws. The 2 free throws by Cunningham to tie the game at the end of regulation. Hillman made 2 big free throws to get Vandy on the board in the overtime.
We'll get one more.
An 81% free throw shooter. You'd like to have her at the line. Pressure switches back just a little bit to the Purdue Boilermakers. They're down. Nice comeback by Vanderbilt. You get the 5 spot thrown at you to start an overtime. You can fold it up and go away, but they haven't.
Erickson can't get it to go. Palmisano's rebound gets the crowd very excited.
Vandy has to continue to attack.
Just about 1:20 left in the overtime period.
With with a 30-second shot clock, that's a couple of possessions. You do not want to get tentative on offense.
Jarrett driving to the hole. Swatted down. 4 fouls on White. Sam. Out to Jared. Can't get it to go, but Cunningham comes up with the rebound.
And what a great decision to bring the ball back out. A lot of people just try to put it up right there.
Plenty of time, and they've got the 1-point lead. Machina Herman. If Machina Hillman had not gotten into foul trouble, it would have been interesting to see what she could have done. 6 points in this overtime period.
Looking for the three.
Can't get it to go. Rolling.
Oh, they're going to get his opportunity the old-fashioned way. Paul Masano has to...
76% shooter from the line. Can't get it to go, and Mara Cunningham pulls it down. Sam finds Jarrett, who runs right into Erickson. The UConn game underway. UConn leading by 1 early in the first half. Ginger Jarrett extends the Vandy lead to 2. And now to 3. 22 seconds on the clock. Timeout called. Range this afternoon. Rowland will inbound to Erickson.
Now, whatever you need quickly.
Fans thought she had a double dribble there. Ginger Jarrett all over White. Airball by White. Sam holds on.
A 1-on-1 situation. You got to set your defense quickly.
Rose up the shot, no good. And Vanderbilt hangs on again in crunch time to beat the Boilermakers by 3. So for Dan Bonner and Andrea Joyce, I'm Michelle Tafoya saying so long from Memorial Gymnasium, where the final score is Vanderbilt 80, Purdue 77. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.
And we welcome you live to Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Sean McDonough with Ann Myers. Happy to have you with us for the second half of our women's college basketball doubleheader. Connecticut leads 15-14, and UConn has just called a 20-second timeout as Rita Williams was trapped. It has been a back and forth. First 9 minutes, Tennessee jumped off to a 4-0 lead for Coach Pat Head Summit, but since then the two teams have taken turns exchanging the lead. And Ann, as we look at this matchup, a rematch of last year's national championship game won by Connecticut as it completed its undefeated national championship.
The Connecticut coach is coming off a national championship himself, and they are not intimidated coming into this game.
UConn comes in at a